You're waking up for work at 6 a.m. You're still sleepy and not ready for the day, so automatically you turn on the coffee maker and get your daily cup of coffee. At noon, you only have a 30-minute break for lunch, so you quick make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and grab a soda from the fridge as you walk out the door. Later in the day, you're driving around with all of your friends. Your ride stops at a convenience store, so you decide to get an energy drink. Whoa! You have just now consumed 322 milligrams of caffeine in just those 3 drinks. I made this mistake too many times, and because of that, I've experienced excruciating pain in my chest. My heart began to skip, which worried me. I hope to inform you as my audience about the dangers of caffeine. Today, I will explain to you the effects of caffeine, the sources of caffeine, and simple ways to prevent caffeine from harming your body. First, I will begin by explaining how caffeine affects the body. There are 2 different effects that it has. The first is psychological. Caffeine, as you know, makes you feel alert. What you didn't know is that caffeine stimulates the central nervous system. By doing so, it blocks adenosine, a neurotransmitter in the brain that creates a calming effect. Because of this blockage, the adrenal glands produce more adrenaline. Caffeine also gives you a manic feeling. While also stimulating the nervous system, caffeine raises the level of dopamine in the body. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that triggers the pleasure parts of your brain. The second of the 2 is the physical effect. Caffeine consumption can increase endurance. The Olympic Committee created a ban on consumption of caffeine before their event. The participants otherwise would be disqualified. An athlete's urinary limits cannot exceed over 12 milligrams of caffeine. This is a normal heartbeat on an EKG. Caffeine could also cause a tachycardia or arrhythmia. A moderate amount of caffeine a day is 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine. Earlier I said with just those 3 drinks, you already had 322 milligrams. You're over your use for the day. With more caffeine, the adrenaline in the heart causes it to beat faster, resulting in a tachycardia. An arrhythmia can be caused by an increased heart rate, which upsets the electrical impulse that causes the heart to beat improperly. Caffeine is even lethal and can cause death. In 2007, a 17-year-old overdosed by drinking 7 double espressos. In 2010, a 23-year-old ate 2 spoonfuls of pure powdered caffeine, followed by an energy drink. So many people don't realize how dangerous caffeine can be and the fact that there are various sources that it presides in. There are 3 common sources that contain caffeine. The most common category is beverages. This includes your pop, tea, coffee, and energy drinks. Caffeine is a diuretic, which means it causes fluid loss. This also, in other words, could mean an increase in flow of urine. The caffeine content of energy drinks varies over a 10-fold range, with some containing the equivalent of 14 cans of Coca-Cola. Yet the caffeine amounts are often unlabeled and few include warnings about the potential health risks of caffeine intoxication, says Roland Griffith, PhD, a professor of behavioral biology at Johns Hopkins University. The second category is the food we eat. Chocolate is the most common known food to contain caffeine. Hershey says that in a normal chocolate bar, it contains 12 milligrams of caffeine. This equals 3 cups of decaf coffee. Chocolate syrup contains about 5 milligrams of caffeine. These amounts are much less than the amount of caffeine typically found in most coffees, teas, and cola beverages. The last category is the medications we take. Caffeine is usually treated for headaches, vertigo, cough, and even some illnesses. Now they have found that they use it to relieve fatigue, increase motor skills, and possibly treat hyperactive children. Of these medications, Excedrin and Midol contain the most caffeine. With such a variety of caffeine products, a person may be consuming an enormous amount of caffeine without even knowing it. But luckily, I have 2 suggestions that will help prevent the effects of caffeine. The first option is to drink a lot of water. As I've said earlier, caffeine is a diuretic. draining the flow of urine from your body. Dehydration is the cause, but if you drink a lot of water, you can become hydrated again. Fluid also keeps a smoother flow in the bloodstream. Another option is to eat more bananas. Bananas contain potassium. If you don't like bananas, I would suggest taking potassium pills. WebMD says that potassium allows our muscles to move, our neurons to fire, and kidneys to filter blood. The right balance of potassium literally helps the heart to beat. With these few suggestions, I hope you understand that caffeine can be dangerous. In conclusion, I hope that my speech has informed you of the dangers if you consume too much caffeine, that you have learned about the effects of caffeine, the sources, and the ways to keep it from harming you. I hope that next time you think about having 4 energy drinks, maybe you'll grab water instead, because I know I will.